I'm going to make a recipe that's in both of my books. The first book I have is Eat Like Your Life Depends on It. On page 31, there's a recipe called bouillon mix. It's a vegetable bouillon. And this was my first book, and I said, make sure you make an extra large batch because you're going to use this quite a bit in your cooking, especially for the recipes in this book. It's also in the book Age with Vitality that I wrote last year, and it's Veggie Bouillon on page 154. And in here I actually have the instructions because I got smart and decided that I was going to triple the recipe so that when you do double it or triple it, it'll be a lot easier. So here I get started. For this recipe, you're going to need nutritional yeast. And we go through a lot of the nutritional yeast here. This is a really yummy vitamin B12 rich, protein rich nutrient that is not your typical yeast. It's not baking yeast. The recipe calls for 6 tablespoons because originally it calls for 2 tablespoons. And I don't know, I lost count. I'm going to add 1 extra because I think I only added 5, but it might have been 6, and who cares? It's going to be fine. Then we're going to add some salt. Just for this recipe, going to use regular table salt. Everybody's different. Some people like Celtic, some people like Himalayan. Use whatever salt you like to have. This also calls for 6 tablespoons, which is about 1/3 of a cup, I think. This makes a very large batch. And you can actually reduce this if you're, sodium sensitive. You do not have to put all the salt in. Easy peasy. Parsley flakes is number 3, and it calls for a tablespoon of parsley if you're tripling this recipe. So we got our parsley in there. We also have onion powder. We're going to add a whole tablespoon of onion powder and a whole tablespoon of garlic powder. And you're going to say, why do you have so many ingredients in this? Well, this is the recipe that I've been using and sharing with people for quite some time, and it is amazing. Celery seed, it's a 1.5 teaspoons, so I'm actually going to use my 1 tablespoon and just kind of eyeball it because it doesn't really matter if it's exactly right and perfect. Same thing with your black pepper. This one I'm going to do a heaping 1/2 teaspoon actually. Oh gosh, that was probably a little bit too much. And then it calls for 3 bay leaves. And a lot of the spices that I use, I buy in bulk, as well as the nutritional yeast. And if you're not buying your items in bulk, I would encourage you to check it out because it's really good for the environment and it's really good for the pocketbook as well. As you see, I've put these in a little tiny mini chopper, and this is going to make a little bit of noise. So I'm going to go ahead and get started making it. And basically what you're going to do is mix it up really well and make sure those bay leaves are incorporated. Okay, here we are. I think my bay leaves are pretty well incorporated. I have a warning on the recipe. Do not breathe this in as you lift the lid because it's going to plume out and it is going to be very intense. Comes from experience. So you're going to take out and this actually smells amazing. And if you were not a chicken soup person, this is going to mimic and replicate a lot of that chickeny type flavor that you get. It looks like I could probably do this a little bit more because the bay leaf did not 100% get completed. Now I'm going to be transferring it into my storage container. I really like this cute little artichoke hearts container that I've had for a few years. I like to save little jars for things like this. We're just going to pour that in there. And you could actually, if you wanted to be super uber careful, you can take just a piece of paper, make yourself a little funnel, and it works really well because that way you're not spilling it everywhere and it's just easier and faster. And I don't know why I've been putting off making this for like a month, but I wanted to make soup for dinner. So there you go. I've got my base, my bouillon base. Super uber delicious and flavorful. For all the vegans out there, this is a great way to get flavor without having to add your meat, bouillon, chicken bouillon or whatever. So this is a veggie bouillon recipe. Enjoy.